Hello everyone, Voices here, and today I will be giving a guide on how to play Misfortune Cavaliers. Let's do this. So this is the ideal final comp. It's really just four forgotten 3 Cavaliers. The rest is pretty flex. I just like this version the best, especially in this current AD meta. I think if you can flex 2 or 3 or potentially 4 if you have the spot Ironclads, it is very, very strong. You don't really need the Ninebringer or Assassin or for the Diana or the Viego. If you can have an instant Mystic if you're somehow in the AP lobby, that works too. Now we need to talk about items, and there's a lot of misconceptions about this comp and the items. You need to prioritize the Ikarim items first. Okay, Ikarim items first. You're gonna save so much HP in the early game that it will basically give you the top 4 that you're looking for. Okay, you don't need Best Insult MF for her to do tons of damage. All you need is Shojin and Archangel. The other item can be flex, it could be a Radiant item, whatever. However, I strongly suggest to at least get the Warmog on the Ikarim. Bramble, usually, because you're in AD lobby, so these 2 items are insane. And potential Radiant items that's doing some kind of damage. Sunfire is the perfect example of that. Ionic Spark is also insane. Those 2 being the best. Sharpclaw is good, anything tanky really. But you need the Ikarim items first. As long as you have Warmog, Bramble, you should be top 4ing almost always, especially if you're going for the 3 stars. For MF, best in slot is Shojin, Archangel +1, Drew Gauntlet is great, Rabadon, any other AP items honestly will do. If it is a Radiant item, Drew Gauntlet, Hand of Justice works too, Rabadon, you know, the usual. Now, the game plan to best play this is actually to open fort. So I'm going to show you basically how an ideal game should look like. Of course, it's just one example. But the best way is to open fort, go to level 6, and at level 6 you're going to try to 3-star as many 2-cost units as possible. This 4, basically. And you need to find the MF, of course, because that's when you're going to have the Forgotten Cavaliers at level 6, ideally, with Vayne and stuff instead. So that's the idea of the comp. You 3-star of this, you go to 7, you 3-star the MF, you go to 8, instead of the Draven, and now you put the Viego in, because it's just a better unit. And that's basically the game plan. Throw it at level 6, restarting as much as you can, keep getting those MFs, go to 7, go get MF 3-star, and win the game that way. Now, those are the great item orders for Misfortune. All the tanky items, just put them on a tank. It doesn't really matter who it is in the early game if you do not have the Ikarim, even though I highly recommend you get the Ikarim as early as possible. Yeah, those are all fantastic Shojin and Archangel item orders. They are just making great use of mana and are doing AP damage or scaling with AP. So depending on whatever you hit here, you can even have a redeemed early game, redeem Cavalier somehow. You know, it can be with aliens, which is the example I will show later. It can be abominations. You can be a lot of things. So if you're considering playing MF and you don't hit her just yet, but you need the item order, consider those units. Now, this is just one example of the early game. Okay, of course, it can be many different options. I would definitely aim to play this comp if you drop maybe double belt or a double chain vest or belt chain vest on top of a mana or sword item. So maybe in the early game you have, let's say, Bramble right? Or you have the Shojin, one or the other. Again, I recommend having the Ikarim items first. And the goal here is to have a good enough early game that you can kill some units in early game. A good way to do this is like this. You just put all the units on one side, and usually you're gonna at least kill one unit right here. This should be doing that for you. After that, I will go to level 5. I will be aiming to add the Sejuani for 3 Cavaliers. This is going to be basically on frontline the entire game, except that this is going to be real later. So you should be pretty set here. All you need is now the damage in the back. So you're gonna go to level 6. At level 6, you either solo or you roll all the way down, depending how did you open fort, basically. But that's when you'll sell those two. Go for the MF, go for the trash, and you hit maybe a vein, and you have your 4 forgotten right here. You put the Shojin here, and use throw roll to hit those units. Okay, the 2 costs. If you can hit a Draven on the way, of course, go ahead. That would be better than the Vayne. It will do way more damage, and there will be Viego later on. But that's basically the comp right here. 3-star trash, Ikarim, Sejuani. Eventually you're gonna find Rel, the Kled will be gone. You could go for Cavaliers, but honestly I don't think it's worth. So this is the comp right here. Once you have your 3 stars, you go to level 7. A fantastic addition will be the Nautilus for both Ironclad and Knight. Most of the lobbies right now are AD anyways, so yeah, I recommend just going for Ironclad just because it's going to help you so much. I like having some of the Cavaliers on the second row, especially the Karim, just because you want the Cavalier buff to work on those. You want the rare stun to happen as soon as possible, but you want the Karim to block as much damage as possible. At that point, I would really try to have another tanky items on the Ikarim, best instead of being Warmogs, and the second item on the MF. Let's just say again, best in slot. Not I know it's not gonna happen every game, but just for the sake of this video, this is the best. Honestly, after that, you need to aim for a radiant item. I tend to think that if you do have especially those two, your Ikarim should be more than tanky enough. So at that point I would probably get a radiant item for the MF as a third item. If you already have a third item, then I would just put a radiant item right here. This is your level 7, you 3-star this unit. You go to level 8, and honestly level 8 is just whatever you hit works. Ideally, the Javelin goes out, you put Viego in. You can have the Diana, you can have another frontline unit as the Volibear. Revenant is still the best frontline in my opinion right now, so if you could get Volibear and the Ivern, or even from Mystic Fiddlesticks, it's fantastic. But that's it for this comp, guys. It's a very, very strong composition. You need to throw at 6, Throw or Hyper at 7 to get them with Fortune 3. Yeah, to get you to top 1. A note right here is that you can actually go 8 or so, just 2-star everything, and you can top 4 with just the 2 stars. It's just you want top 1, that's all. But if you're playing for top 4 and you get those units, just go 8, try to get the Viegos and an average Legendary, and you'll be good to go. Let me know if you do have any questions down in the comments, otherwise I will see you guys next time.